a meaningful game. I think he understands now the importance of preparation. He understands the importance of the things about taking care of your body, because it was a physical game for him. And I think he just understands the speed of play. And the thing that he had a really good look in his eyes that day out in Lubbock. I mean, he was really fiery and excited, and so I think those are the things you look to build on, and hopefully he carries over to practice and carries over to our scrimmages and helps ultimately earn the job, and then turn that leadership over to our group as well in offense.
Gary told us the quarterback competition was a lot closer than any of us thought it was.
No, I would agree with him. Yeah, it definitely is. And Mike Collins has done a great job coming in from Penn. He works like crazy. He studies it. Obviously, he's a very smart kid, and that's going to help with Sean. And they'll rotate days, in terms of who's going with the ones until someone separates themselves, or you're forced to make a decision and allocate all those 1 reps to one guy.
I didn't realize Kenny. Gary was telling us about Kenny's now in the room. And Kenny's
Yeah,
practice
yeah.
too. What does that do, especially when you've got all these young guys? You've got a guy that's been in the fire, and I don't know when did that come about, and did y'all even know that was going to happen?
No, we didn't. We didn't know it was going to happen this soon. We knew Kenny still needed. He lost some credits when he transferred in from A&M, and so he's going to finish up this fall. And it was funny because I approached Coach. Hey, Coach, Kenny's coming back. And then before I could even say anything, he needs to be a student coach. And so we got that rolling. And the thing is sometimes he says things. They listen, they listen maybe a little differently, a little bit more whenever he says stuff, and the experience that he's had of learning how to prepare and at a high level, and the things that he's gone through in his career, I think it's great to have, and I think it's a very calming influence on the kids, and it's a comfort level for me as well as just bouncing stuff on. Now, did you like this? What's the best way that we read this? How do you feel teaching wise? Is this the clearest way to teach it? And I know Sean and Mike, they have a real comfort level with them.
At Big 12 Media Days, Shawo mentioned that he thought the offensive line was coming along really well. What are your expectations for them this August as they start to shuffle and prepare for the season?
Yeah, ever since then I've been here, we've been really good, and our offensive line has played really well. And we've had an experienced group, and we're going to have to grow that group up through fall camp. They're going to go against a really good defensive line, and I think they've had a good summer. And as they get out on the field, just any offensive line that's really good, besides obviously the talent, is they're a really close unit. They move well together on and off the field, and so I think that's what you look for is this group coming together. The obvious pass protection, being on the same page with that, and the run game I think maybe a little different just because we might not be as big with the loss of guys like Matt Pryor and Pat Schlope, and so you try to figure out the best way to use those guys up front in terms of the run game, and then also in protection.
What's that like, trying to grow up an offensive line and a quarterback at the same time?
It's hard. It makes for some long days and long nights, but I think that it's a group that's very eager to get out there and show, and they know, the quarterbacks and the O-line all know that a lot of hinges on offensively the success on how well we prepare them as coaches and how well that they play, and so it all hinges on us as well. So they're looking forward to it.
What do you see in Anthony McKinney at the O-line? The JUCO transfer came in.
Yeah, nice. He's huge. Yeah, he's big. He's a kid that's really changed his body a lot since he's gotten here. I think he weighs 310. He's lost a lot of body fat. He studies it on his own. It's very important to him, and he's a mature kid. And I think that though coming in the spring was huge for him because he was able to kind of get some of the bumps out of the way, and learn our offense, and then hopefully have a summer to get really strong. He stayed here in May on his own accord to lift, to get stronger, and to continue to change his body. So really excited to see how well he progresses in fall camp.
Is it fair to say that the offense here now is like a hybrid of what you grew up with and things that Gary wants to do?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a fair assessment. I think that I think part of that though is the evolution of defenses in the Big 12. I think that when you line up, I would love to line up in a 10 personnel 4 wide receiver set and blow and go, but that's not a lot of fun against teams that rush 3 and drop 8, and so you have to have, I think, some flexibility within your personnel and within your scheme. So when you match up against those teams that defensively present those problems out of 10 personnel, you can make them uncomfortable with what you can do in offense. And so one of the things is how do we win, and what are our best players, and sometimes it's hard to just line up and chunk it when it's rush 3, drop 8, I'll have to pause the film and show it. All right, guys, look at the film. What looks good here? And they're like, Coach, you got to run the ball, and so they understand.
Have defenses been attacking it with rush 3, drop 8 for the last, what, 3 or 4 years, you'd say?
I would say so. You know, I think West Virginia kind of started it, and then Coach Gibson does a great job there, and went from them. You know, and now a few other teams in the conferences have definitely taken that same approach.
Sonny, talk about your